Hey guys, it's Dr. Riley Keyser, founder of the grant writing firm. And today I want to talk about something that honestly does not get talked about enough, and that's grant readiness. So here's the truth. A lot of organizations come to me and they're like, we need funding, we want to apply to grants. And I'm like, okay, that's amazing. And then I start asking for basic documents and they just don't have them. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you're not fully grant ready yet. So, I want to walk you through what that actually means and what you should have in place before you even start applying. So, first thing, and this one's actually huge, it seems pretty simple, but is you need a website. So, funders, they're going to Google you like immediately. If they can't find you or your website is super outdated or unclear, it's a red flag. So your website doesn't necessarily need to be fancy, but it does need to clearly explain who you are, who you serve, and what programs you offer and what impact that you're making. If a funder can't understand your organization in about 60 seconds, that's a problem. So, second, for grant readiness, you need a really solid organizational description. So, that sounds again pretty simple, but most people don't actually have this written out well. You should be able to clearly explain what your mission is, who you serve, and what your programs are, but also why your work matters, and not just in your head, like actually written out, ready to drop into applications. Same goes for your program descriptions. Each program should have its own clear explanation, what it does, who it serves, and what outcomes that you're seeing. So, next for grant readiness, let's talk about financials. So, at a minimum, you should have an organizational budget, like a clear breakdown of your revenue and your expenses. If you're a little more established, funders are also going to look for your Form 990. That's your nonprofit's tax return. And yes, they absolutely check it. A lot of the times you do have to upload that. And then ideally, if you have it, audited financials. Not every organization has this, especially the smaller ones or the newer ones, and that's okay. But once you start going after larger grants, it becomes really important. They're going to ask you for your audited financials. So, for grant readiness, another big one is having your documents organized and ready to go. So things like your IRS determination letter, your EIN, your board of directors list, key staff bios and resumes, all of that kind of things. So because a lot of grants will ask for these and you don't want to be scrambling at the last minute trying to find everything, you want to have these ready to go in one folder on your computer that you can just grab and go and input them into the funders portals. Also, and this is something people don't always think about, you need to be able to clearly show your impact. Even if you're small or newer, you should be tracking things like how many people you're serving, what outcomes you're seeing, what changes you're making. Funders are not just giving money because your mission is good. They want to see that what you're doing is actually working. And then the last piece for grant readiness that we're going to talk about today, I'll say this: you need a plan. Like, where are you going as an organization? So this could be a strategic plan, a growth plan, even just clearly defined goals. But funders want to know that you're not just operating day to day, you're actually building something. So if you're listening to this and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm missing a few of these things, that's completely normal. That's perfectly fine. That is literally where most organizations are. And that's actually a huge part of what we do at the grant writing firm. We don't just write grants and throw you into the deep end. We help organizations get fully grant ready. That includes helping you develop your organizational materials, your program descriptions, your budgets, your strategic plans, all of the pieces that actually make you competitive for these funding opportunities. Because the truth is, the strongest grant writers in the world cannot win funding for an organization that isn't prepared, that isn't grant ready. But when you are prepared, everything changes. So if you're not sure where you stand or you want help getting everything in place before you start applying, feel free to reach out to us. I'm always happy to take a look and point you in the right direction. Thanks so much.